Hello everyone and welcome to episode 18 of Bardic Quest, the show where a group of British trained actors tell fantastical improvised stories through the medium of Dungeons and Dragons. Yay! Bit of housekeeping in case you aren't in on the last episode, in which case go back and watch that one. But anyway, we don't have Ollie this session, so our favourite source of angst is not with us. No Johann for this episode and probably the next couple of episodes as well. And also, just to flag up again, we are having a few tech issues on Annina's side, which means it might get a little bit janky, so apologies in advance if that is the case, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll all be fine. So that's the housekeeping out of the way. So without much further ado, let's get into this week's episode of Bardic Quest. Last time, our heroes arrived in the town of Phandalin and took the cart of supplies that they were due to drop off at Barthen's Provisions to said location, only to find that as it was so late in the day, i.e. the beginning of the evening, Barthen's Provisions was closed for the day, with the proprietor nowhere to be seen. On Sildar's suggestion, and I think Thorik's suggestion as well, they headed towards the inn in the hopes of finding somewhere where they could park up the cart and keep it safe overnight whilst they looked for lodgings. So they stumbled upon Stonehill Inn in the centre of town, where they purchased some food, some well-earned drink, and some lodgings for the evening as well. And also heard various stories of the unsavoury characters that were putting a little bit of unpleasant pressure on the locals of Phandalin, known as the Red Brands. As Thorik left and ventured outside to park the cart after they'd secured their lodgings, he spoke to the proprietor's wife, who revealed to him that not only were these Red Brands unpleasant people, but they had quite openly murdered a member of the town who had decided to speak up and defend his wife after they had been leering at her. And in response to his insubordination, they openly murdered him in front of some of the locals. Which is the bombshell which we left off on the previous episode. So, Thorik, you've just ventured back in to the inn. Saga, Sergei and Sildar are sat around the table enjoying their cheese and bread that you had ordered for them. Is there anything that any of you would like to do?
You know, I never did much like cheese and bread. Oh, Thorik, hello, welcome back.
Hello. Cheese and bread, my favourite. He gives a wing. He's like, "You're a bit dry, isn't it?" He's like, "What am I doing? I've got props. I've got food here. You're a bit dry."
Okay,
And the troll leans in, like spraying crumbs over everyone, like crumbs in his beard. Takes a big swill of ale, and just double foam moustache. Just wipes it on the back of his hand. They know some stuff about those Red Brand characters that the innkeep was talking about.
So have I.
What did you find out?
That there's people called Red Brands. That's about it.
Anything? No. Okay. Well, I found out that they've been causing the people a lot of trouble, but they killed a man 10 days ago. So
That is not good.
they're brazen enough to do that in the middle of a small town. Doesn't sound like they've got a lot of people looking after them.
We know where they are.
Not as far as I know. We don't know how many there are, so we need to keep our noses clean and keep our ears open. They took the chap they killed. He had a wife and some kids apparently, and they went missing. So who knows whether they've just left town or whatever, but
Probably feared for their lives.
most likely.
Maybe it is best to go check their place of residency.
Well, maybe asking some people that maybe knew them.
You said a kid, yes?
A couple of kids apparently, but
Good. I'm going to hop down. And you said there was another kid running around the tavern?
Yes.
I'm going to kind of lean up to Thorik. Children, they often cannot tell right from wrong, so they often will tell you all the information you can get. So bear with me 1 second.
Sergei, Saga, stop it.
She tries to grab Sergei before he leaves.
I'd like to run as quick as I can towards this child.
Do you want to give me a dexterity saving throw?
That will be a same throw. I'm proficient in that. Yes, I am. 18.
18. Oh well, I think you're probably gonna just dodge out of reach of Saga there. You just see Sergei just scurry off in amongst the tables and chairs, and
I think the ale's affected her, so she's like, oh, whatever. And then she just does this to Thorik, like, tried.
Thorik just sort of like shakes his head and said, "This is going to be a problem, isn't it?"
Definitely. It's definitely going to be a problem.
So, Sergei, you head off looking for this boy that's running around. You eventually find him. He's in this very baggy kind of white shirt. His hair's all like matted and scruffy looking, and he's kind of got these very long green shorts that kind of hang almost over his shins rather than his knees, and he's boots on. And he's running around just kind of listening in on people's conversations and looking all excited.
Okay, just before I get to him,
Yeah.
I would like to cast Disguise Self on myself to look like a child, maybe a friendly kid.
Okay. Interesting. What are the components of disguise self? Is it verbal and semantic?
That is a great question.
There's probably not going to be any material components, but I just want to kind of get a vibe for how subtle.
Yeah, verbal and V and S.
VNS. Okay. So presumably you're going to find a corner of the room somewhere where you can hide behind, and so you're going to disguise yourself as a child.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to gain this kid's trust.
All right. Cool. So you cast disguise self on yourself. A lot of the maturer features that you have on your face kind of...
The wrinkles.
Yeah, they kind of clear up. Your size doesn't much change. But any facial hair and stubble, that disappears. And you kind of de-age and make yourself look a little more friendly than perhaps Sergei might otherwise do. But it's a more subtle disguise.
My reflection in like a pail of water. God, I look so young. I should do this more often. And then make my way over to
To the boy.
To the boy.
You kind of see him, he's kind of like on his tiptoes looking up over some of the tables, and you can kind of see him eyeing up people's food and stuff, but he's kind of minding his own business, doesn't really see you coming.
Okay. Hello, would you like to play a game?
He
I kind of grab...
turns... Oh, go on.
Go on.
Okay, I'll go. So he turns around, he looks a little wide-eyed at you, a little bit startled. He was very much in his own little world. And he says, a game?
Yes, one of my friends taught it to me. I'd like to grab like a tankard and then maybe like fish out a pebble or something, or some small object to throw into it.
Okay.
What we do is I place this here and we both have to land it in.
Oh! Into one of theirs. And he points at some of the patrons.
Yes!
Oh! Will we not get into trouble?
No, that is fine. That is fine.
I don't know. I don't know if I should, I don't want to get in trouble with my dad. And he points over to the bar.
We'll just do it in this one then.
Oh! Okay. And so all you got to do is just get it in. Get it into the...
Yes, like this. Try and throw it in.
Okay. Let's go with a... I don't really know how to... Let's just go with a dex roll.
That would be a 15.
15. Yep, with real ease. You've played this game before. In your boredom.
Yeah.
Straight in.
Cool. And as we're playing this game, I'd like to inquire about any scary people, or if any of his friends. I'm kind of trying to inquire if he's friends with the children of the dad who got murdered.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Sure. Okay, so how do you want to go about gathering such information?
Such... Are there many other kids like us?
He says, yes, there are a few. Yes, there's Carp and I spend more time with the adults, to be honest, whilst they're in here drinking.
Oh, are there do you know of like any kids, like siblings? Because I'm new to town, and they kicked. I've been here before, and they kicked me, and I felt very hurt when they kicked me.
Give me a deception, please.
Oh dear.
It matched what you said verbally.
What did you get?
7.
7. He kind of looks at you puzzled, and he says, when were you here?
Maybe a month ago. I don't know. I'm a kid. I don't understand time.
He starts kind of backing away from you. He's obviously got a bit of a bad feeling about you at this point.
Well, if the kid's got a bad feeling, I'm not gonna press. It's okay. Maybe you can enjoy the game that I taught you. Goodbye. Quickly scurry off. Come back to the table. Guys, that was a terrible idea.
What did you do?
I told you so. Now stop before we all end up in prison.
Sergei is looking... I was going to say, Sergei is looking visibly younger to you both.
Saga, you seem very concerned about law enforcement. Are you alright?
I want to keep a low profile, okay?
I agree. That's creepy, Sergei. Stop it.
I thought maybe I could learn something.
I mean,
Why don't we just go to the, I don't know, the town, whoever's in charge of the town, and ask about what did you mention? Red brands. We could do it that way.
we can just ask people questions. Civilly. And then maybe we'll try something creepy with it. Can you? I didn't know you could do it.
Do what? What are you talking about?
I mean, it's,
Change your
What do you
face.
Thorik's gonna like touch his face,
mean? Oh, Thorik, please.
and I see him put his hands like through parts of the illusion. Like, ah, okay.
What? Did you find a wrinkle? Did you
No,
find
it
a
just
spot?
explains a lot about my my friend back home. His stag party explains a lot.
Oh,
That is not for present company. I've not had enough ale to tell that one. Anyway, I'm going to assume you didn't find anything else out.
no, but we played a great game. I can teach it to you one day.
Okay.
You're lucky Johann is in here. He'd probably stab you, which would be
Yeah.
very disconcerting, seeing as you look like a child. What's in this ale, Thorik?
It's just normal ale, I think. Is it normal ale?
Yeah, it tastes. It's not the finest ale that you've had, particularly to a dwarven palate.
It's the usual kind of swill you humans drink, but, you know. Sorry, no offense. Sorry. It's been a long day. I think, you know what? Let's just put the brakes on
I
a
don't
second.
make ale, okay? I don't
That's
make
fine.
ale, so
I'm sorry. I do. Which isn't a lie. When your dad's a brewer, it like ruins you for other things. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself.
oh, Thorik's a snob, is he?
No, well, yeah. Right, I know what I like. That's all I'm saying. I know what I like. And this is fine. You know, this is fine. It's a drinkable. Let's put the brakes on. I think we should have some drink and some food and go to bed and maybe have a wash. Looks at Sergei. And then come to things in the morning and see what we can find out. We can drop off the cart, hopefully get paid, have a little snoop around and see if we can't find out what's happened to Gundren and what's going on in the town.
I agree. And quick question:
Sounds like a good plan.
did we get a family room? I kind of point. To
Gods by the
myself.
divines, I hope not. Did we?
No, it's all separate rooms.
Thank the heavens for that.
So, unless there's anything else that you guys would like to do this evening whilst in the inn, you eat your food, drink your drinks, and then head up to retire to your separate rooms. Unless there is anything that anybody else would like to do. No?
Me.
Okay. So yes, so you head upstairs and you retire for the night. So perhaps everyone, you might want to benefit now from a long rest.
Yes, please.
Long rest. Yes, we like that.
Finally.
Yes.
Oh, that looks so nice. Carrot sheet, so clean.
Is Sergei having a wash, or are we gonna still
Is there anything
Suffer.
to wash in?
So, you take your benefits from a long rest. First thing in the morning, where is our Thorik? Where is he? There he is. Way magic.
There he is.
So Thorik,
Costume change.
I didn't want to get soup and bread down my nice tavern. Cleric always saves the Sunday best. Never eating your...
Well, you definitely are a snob, Thorik. I don't have Sunday best. This is it.
It's the whole package.
Your first port of call, Thorik, in the morning, should you wish to, of course, is to enter a period of prayer, in case you might want to prepare any new spells for the day.
I do. Thorik has been a bit kind of... he's been putting on a bit of a brave face, but this is the first time he's actually had a quiet moment to sort of assess himself and what's been going on, and I suppose just... he's not a particularly religious man, despite being a cleric. His faith's always been a bit of a difficulty for him. So the fact that he kind of feels a bit more connected and a bit more powerful and a bit more leveled up, some might say, is sort of a weird sensation for him, and he kind of feels a bit like a few things that his mother maybe tried to drill into him over and over and over and over again are actually starting to make sense. And it's a bit odd for him currently. But I will have a little check. Would you like me to tell you what I'm choosing for the day?
If you like, it's entirely up to you.
Well, give me... Well, I'll put it on. You'll be able to...
Yeah, I'll be able to see anyway if I want to, yeah. So it's entirely up to you if you want to reveal, essentially, to the audience more than myself.
We'll carry on, and I'll pipe up maybe in a moment and do that.
Okay. So you all wake up. Obviously, Thorik, you enter a period of prayer and self-reflection. Saga, Sergei, is there anything you'd like to do upon waking up this morning in the immediacy?
I think she'd just sharpen her sword and things like that. Make sure her armor's intact.
Mm-hmm.
Rebraid her braids. Put her war paint back on. Just that.
Okay. Sergei, anything?
I'm sure it would have.
I think it's been a bit of a weird day for Sergei. I suppose every day is a weird day for Sergei. Is there like a window that I can kind of look out? I just like to look out at the townsfolk, kind of contemplate life a little bit. And is there anything that I could wash myself with?
There is a basin with there's a kind of a jug of water next to the basin. It's cold water. It's been left there for overnight for as with all guests, so that you can use it as you will. So it's not warm water, but it's cold. There's a bar of soap at your disposal should you want to wash.
While stood at the window, I'm going to glance over it. Sergei kind of looks at it for a few moments and then just looks back out the window, decides not to wash. This is going to be the full character arc. One day he will wash.
Saga will eventually dunk him in an ocean or something. just that will eventually happen if he doesn't wash.
Okay. So after you do your morning rituals, whatever they might be, you all venture downstairs back into the main part of the inn, which is very, very quiet. There's nobody really about. There's the fireplace is what's the word? Alight, I suppose. A nice warm fire. It is, and as you will have noticed, this Sergei looking out the window. We are still in the middle of winter, so it's frosty on the ground outside, frost on the roofs. It's certainly not a particularly warm day. So the fireplace is very, very welcome. But you essentially come downstairs and you're all there, sat around, waiting for each other, essentially, to arrive. And as you all do arrive, is there anything that you'd like to do, say? Anything?
Anyone for some breakfast?
Good start to the day, I think.
Yes.
You see milling about is the young barmaid that was milling about talking to all of the locals last night. She's there bright and early. She's a young human female, bright red hair. She's got a long red dress with kind of, I don't know what the technical term is, but those kind of big sleeves, puffy sleeves, yeah. And she's got like a brown corset on, with a white apron down the front. A very entertaining looking young lady, shall we say. Very talkative, and you notice from her behaviour the previous night with some of the locals a natural flirtatious nature to herself.
Okay. Saga would nod to her and say morning.
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 Did you sleep well?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Oh, good.
Very, very pleasant rooms.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll let Toblin know. Anything I can get for you this morning?
My companions and I were hoping for some breakfast, if that's not too much hassle for you.
Of course, I will see what we can drum up for you. Maybe some meat?
Perfect.
Okay, great.
Sounds perfect.
I'll go out the back and see what I can get for you. And she kind of throws you a wink, Saga, as she heads out the back.
Okay, Saga's gonna be a bit like, okay, confused. And then sit down.
And a few minutes later, she brings out a platter of meat.
What kind of meat?
A few slices of beef, a leg of lamb.
How much is it?
Bit of ham, bit of bacon.
Did I just
sausage.
accidentally flirt us into a good breakfast? is that my skill?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
She brings it over with a big smile on her face, and she says, "Right, so platter of meat. That would be 3 silver, please."
I'll get it.
Thank you, Sergei.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hold 30 copper pieces. Is that the equivalent? Am I right?
Dickhead. You
yes.
absolute dickhead.
Yes, 10.
You're
10
giving out
copper
pennies.
pieces.
Oh God.
I have 600 copper.
Are you joking? Did you have all your money in copper? I know this is a
Yes.
pretend game. This is the cafe retail coming out. People playing pennies. Oh, gone are the days.
Saga's gonna be so embarrassed by this that she's just gonna give her an extra silver coin and be like, "I'm so sorry."
Thank you so much, Trelina. You've been very patient with all of us this morning.
She says, "Trelina's Toblin's wife. I'm Elsa."
Oh, well done, Thorik.
Sorry, I thought you said it was the same person.
So there was the wife
There were
that
two
you
women,
spoke to,
Thorik.
and then there was a barmaid that was milling around all of the locals last night.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's not Thorik being a dick. That's Isaac not understanding that there were two characters. I thought there was one person who was in the bar.
Do
and then they went-
humans all look alike to you? Do they?
We'll just retcon that. Quick retcon.
Thorik shuts up and just eats some bacon.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I would have given Elsa an extra silver coin as a tip, going, "I'm so sorry."
Sure.
Because Sergei's embarrassed us now.
And she gives you a nice smile and a kind of knowing look in the direction of Sergei.
Oh, but
Well.
I paid the money. Why you?
And you hear her kind of
Landfolk confusing.
all of the coins rattling around in her hand as she walks to the bar.
Thorik wags a finger. If you're ever lucky enough to come to a dwarf hold, don't do that.
If you're lucky enough to come onto the seas, that is all you get.
I don't know about the sea. Seas make me queasy.
Sildar is also at the table with you, and
Oh God! Sildar.
and he says, "So, what's the plan for the day then? Suppose we should probably drop off the provisions."
Alright.
Yes.
Anyone see Johann come in late last night?
I can't say I've seen him.
Why would we see him? I mean, unless he knocked on someone's door.
I mean, not necessarily us, but like the bar, maybe they would have said something. I don't know. Maybe someone heard something. Maybe he went into someone else's room.
Well, you seem to know more about that than me.
Well, he's not really my type, I have to say.
If you are suggesting that Johann came and slept in my bed, Thorik,
What?
I can tell you he did not.
Thorik puts his hands up and he's like, no offense, lad. Like, it's not... Hey, if he did, power to you. Big fan, do what you like. Second, I meant in jail, someone else's room. I wasn't expecting it to be one of us. I don't get he's on anyone's radar. Anyway, I feel like I've dug myself a bit of a grave here, so I'm going to put the shovel down. And, let's... Thorik just has, pure... pure panic. Wait, I'm over-explaining. I'm dwarf slaining now.
Should we just leave a note in case he comes here?
Yeah. It's good.
I don't know, check back after.
That's a good idea. You never know when he's going to show up. I hope he's all right. Right. So once we've finished here, then I maybe take the provisions over and then decide what we want to do from there, perhaps.
Perfect.
So you eat up your breakfast. It's the best meal you've had aside from the bread and cheese, of course, but certainly the best meal that you've had for several days after your time on the road. And you eat all of that up, and then you prepare to head on over to the cart where all of the supplies are. And Thorik, you are pleased to see that it is exactly how and as you left it, untouched overnight. You untie the oxen and you head on over, all of you, to the shop that you'd attempted to head into the day before, which is Barthen's Provisions. You enter the trading post, which, in spite of being one of the few trading posts in Phandalin, is still quite small. Daylight's pouring in through a small window, hitting the counter behind which are shelves stacked with an assortment of provisions and equipment. The smell is an eclectic mix of foodstuffs, the leathers of backpacks hanging on the wall, and the overpowering odour of lantern oils. There's a lean, balding human male of approximately 50 years of age behind the counter checking his stock, whilst two young boys are at the other side of the shop stacking some shelves. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Saga just nudges Thorik to do the talking.
Okay. Good morning.
Morning.
Mr. Barfan, I presume.
Aye, yep, that's me.
My name's Thorik. Me and my companions here were sent here to Phandalin from Neverwinter, delivering a cart full of wares, which is just outside, for one Gundren Rockseeker.
He smiles at you, and he says, fantastic. I'm pleased to hear that the supplies made it here. I'm assuming everything's still accounted for?
Aye, you'll be welcome to check it over. Here's the list of everything, and he procures from his pack the like inventory of everything that's on the cart.
He has a look at the bit of parchment that you've given him, and he says, "Oh, good!" And he lets out a whistle, and one of the boys with a side-swept hairstyle walks over to him, and he says to the boy, "Ander, take the cart around the back and start unloading." Ander quickly heads out the door, and Elmar turns and takes a small chest from underneath the counter and locks it with a small iron key. And from out the chest, he begins to count out pieces of gold, looking up to count how many of you there are. And then he slides towards you a stack of 10 gold pieces. And he says, "I believe this is the agreed amount?"
Was it 10 each, or 10 in total?
It was 10 each.
10 each, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Sorry, yes, 10 gold pieces to each of you.
Yes, trying to be stingy.
Well, thank you very much. And Thorik sweeps the gold to each person, and
No, thank you.
What kind of provisions do we see?
It's a general mismatch of much of the sorts of gear that you probably would have in your backpacks. Things like rope, backpacks themselves, sleeping bags, a whole eclectic mix, really, of various things. Is there anything in particular that you were looking for?
I'm not so much looking for. I'm just wondering if we have anything to sell.
Oh, I see. Is there anything that you'd like to sell?
I'm just looking at what I have. I'm pretty sure I have nothing but some candles and my clothes.
I mean, I have gold teeth. Do they? Would they want to buy some gold teeth?
I mean, you can pitch it to him.
Mm. They don't have potions or anything, do they?
No.
Yeah. No, I'll save it.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, go on.
After you?
No, I was just going to say, I picked up the little froggy statuette.
Mm.
And as far as I rolled a natural 1 on that, so I am not going to investigate it any further, and I'm just going to place it on the counter and say, "Are you into buying things? Wares, anything like that? Do trinkets such as this tickle your interest?"
He has a look at it, and you kind of see him. His kind of eyes widen subtly, but he's trying not to give anything away at this point.
Do I notice?
Give me an insight check.
Do I know? Do we all notice?
A 6. So no, I guess I don't notice.
No, he hides it very well from you.
Am I allowed to clock that if I'm?
Yeah, I mean, you have a passive insight of 14, so I think you'd probably clock that. So he's trying not to show too much, but you do notice a little flicker in his eyes, and he just says to you calmly. He kind of gestures towards it, and he says, "May I?" as if to pick it up and have a closer look.
Of course.
Thank you.
And you, as well as I know, exactly what this is.
Give me a deception check.
That one.
Oh no!
And he says,
rolling awfully.
he kind of looks at you and he says, "Oh, and what do you think this is exactly?"
Frog.
Well, I've only seen one other, and that had lost all of its, ness. So this has still got plenty fresh amounts of ribbit left. And he's just clutching at straws, just sort of feeling himself turn purple.
He,
I've got no idea, mate. I've got absolutely no idea. I've been terrible at this bargaining thing, the whole lot.
Could we please use ribbit as a describing word?
Please.
Plenty of ribbit left in it.
That was wonderful.
that was beautiful.
That one.
He says, "I'll give you 15 gold for it."
Saga's gonna step in and go, "You sure that's your best price?" I'm going for intimidation.
Okay, go for it.
Fuck's sake! No, 15.
15. Okay.
15. I thought it was on the other side, but it's actually 13.
He kind of looks you up and down, and you kind of see his kind of demeanor change a little bit as he kind of takes a little bit of a step back and kind of looks up at you, and he says, "Did I say 15? Did I?"
Yeah, you did.
Well,
I'd hate it if you tried to, have my friend over. That wouldn't make me very happy at all.
Right. Well, I suppose I could go up to 20, but that would be, my final offer.
Oh, gentle sir, do you have any pieces of items that are slightly broken, slightly damaged? Because if you knock it up to 25, I could go around mending all of them. And I kind of demonstrate by maybe a bit of cut, bit of damaged, bit of a costume. What was about? That's an actor talking. My costume damage. Clothes. Why can't I forget the word for clothes? And just kind of cast the mending cantrip. Just to...
Ooh. Okay. So some of the holes in your clothing kind of sew themselves back up and just magically fix themselves in front of him. Could you give me a persuasion check with advantage?
Ooh. I'll be a 19.
19. He says, well, I don't really have anything that needs fixing, but maybe I could call in a favour at some point if I needed somebody of your prowess, I guess.
I am the clothes mender, yes.
For I mean, I couldn't quite do 25, but maybe 23.
Sounds good.
Sounds fair. He places the frog back down and extends a dwarven mitt.
And the man shakes your hand and also hands over 23 gold pieces to you.
Thank you very much.
So, what brings you around these parts beside, obviously, the delivery? Anything, or is that just it? Is that everything?
Saga's gonna turn to Thorik and go, "When we gonna find some lady, let her."
Aye. Well, We were sent here by Gundren Rockseeker. Have you met Gundren?
Yeah, I'm good friends with Gundren actually. Yeah.
Aye. Well, slight issue we had was we found his man Sildar, but him and Gundren had both been taken by goblins, we believe. And we found Sildar and broke him free, but we've not yet found Gundren. So
That explains a lot. It's and he kind of stares at the floor. He's clearly saddened. He says, "That's some quite disturbing news. I was expecting him a day or two ago, and I just assumed that there must have simply been a delay in finding folks such as yourself to escort the supplies down here. Do you think you might be able to find him?"
Thorik
We
looks
will
at the others.
try our hardest to find him.
Well, as I say, he was a good friend of mine. So, I'd be grateful if you get any news of where he might be. I must admit, I was really quite excited when he told me that he'd discovered the lost mine of the Phandelver's pact in the nearby hills. I think he had a good thing on his hands, so it'd be good if you could find him.
Do you have any sense of how much? We've not known Gundren for very long. We only really met him properly once. He was a very, very flamboyant kinsman, I'd say. Definitely one who enjoys life. Seems a good chap, but perhaps not the most subtle. Do you think he's maybe got some unwanted attention?
Well, it's certainly a possibility. There's a lot of history with this mine, and I suppose if any news got out, I suppose it'd certainly grab the attention of the less fine folk and more ambitious folk, I suppose. But I know he kept his cards very close to his chest, so he won't have told too many people, I suppose. I guess I should probably break the news to his brothers.
His brothers, are they in town?
Well, his brothers, they've been camping outside town, and they'll be back any day now. I must admit, I've not seen them for maybe a 10-day or so, so they'll need to pop by to resupply. So once they pop back, I'll let them know. I think it would be best that it come from me,
Fair play. And me and my friends here, we found about and he sort of leans onto the counter, or puts his elbows up on it, and sort of leans in and says, "I've tell you, been having some problems with this group calling themselves the Red Brands. Am I right?"
Oh, yeah, those guys. They've been making it hard for everyone, to be honest. Shaking down local businesses and flouting the townmaster's authority. I mean, they are just unpleasant folk who seem to act without any concern for repercussions or consequences for their actions. They're not particularly nice, as I'm sure you've heard.
Do you have no town guards who can?
No.
Good.
No, not around here. It's a very new town. Not much money here as of yet. A lot of hope for prospecting and stuff as this place kind of builds its reputation for natural resources to be mined and things, but the town itself, apart from the original town and the ruins on which this old town's built, really, the town itself here is not been around very long. We don't have the resources for a local militia or any such authority. No, we're left to our own devices here. Some of us like that, some of us don't, but even when those of us who do like the fact that we're left to our own devices, it does come with some setbacks, such as lack of authority and control of unsavoury folk.
Aye. Well, we were staying at the Stonehill Inn yesterday, and more than likely we might be there again tonight.
Right.
Probably be around town or nearby for a few days, maybe. Just let us know if they come back into town. And
Oh, well, they're here quite a lot. They tend to spend a lot of time at the Sleeping Giant tap house, so if you felt the need to do something about it, then I suppose you'd probably find them there.
Good to know. Good to know.
how many? Do you know roughly how many they number?
Oh, there's quite a lot of them, I've got to say. Tend not to see the same faces twice.
10, 20, more?
Probably more.
More. Okay.
Is there anything else I can get you?
No, I think we should let you continue your work, and we will maybe go wake up a sleeping giant.
Right. Well, best of luck, and I think if you do head that way, I'm sure you'll have a lot of local support from us.
Good to know.
Gives you a nod.
On the way out,
Mm-hmm.
if we are heading out, I'm just going to kind of linger a few moments and lean up to the counter when these guys are kind of heading out the door, and just place the rabbit foot that I have in my inventory. How much for this?
He kind of looks at it, looks at you, and 3 copper.
Deal.
He takes the rabbit's foot from you and pays you 3 copper pieces for it.
While
Lovely.